In the world of crypto, your digital wallet is basically your vault. It's where you keep everything. But what happens when the lock gets picked and you don't even realize it's happening? Today, we are digging into a massive security breach that saw millions of dollars just disappear from one of the most popular crypto wallets out there. And it all starts with one pretty staggering number: $7 million. I mean, just let that sink in for a second. It is a jaw-dropping amount of money. And for any crypto holder, it's pretty much a nightmare scenario come to life. So where did it all come from? And more importantly, where did it go?
Well, that's $7 million. It was the grand total drained from the wallets of hundreds of everyday individual users. The target here was Trust Wallet, a huge platform that's actually owned by the crypto giant Binance. Let's really get into exactly how this all went down.
All right, first up, let's take a closer look at the heist itself. You know, who was targeted and what was the immediate fallout from this multi-million-dollar attack?
Okay, so here's what's so interesting. The attack was incredibly specific. The victims were only people using the Trust Wallet Google Chrome extension, so the desktop version. If you were a mobile-only user, just had the app on your phone, your funds were totally safe. This tells us it was a really targeted attack aimed at one very specific piece of software.
So the big question is, how on earth did they pull this off? Let's break down the anatomy of this attack piece by piece.
It really happened like a set of dominoes falling. It all kicked off when a hacker got their hands on a leaked API key. Now, you can think of that as a special kind of master password that lets developers publish software updates. So using this key, they pushed a fake, malicious update to the official Google Chrome web store. Unsuspecting users installed it, and right away, this hidden code got to work stealing the single most important secret you have, your mnemonic phrase. As soon as that phrase was sent to the attacker's server, it was game over. The hacker had total, complete control.
And this right here is why that phrase is so unbelievably critical. A mnemonic phrase or recovery phrase, it's not just a password. It is the master key to your entire crypto life. It's that series of words that lets you restore your wallet on any device in the world. So if someone else gets it, they don't have to hack you again. They basically are you. They'd own your wallet and every single thing inside.
And looking at this timeline, you can see this wasn't an overnight job, but man, did it escalate quickly. The attackers set up their home base, their malicious domain, way back on December 8th. By Christmas Eve, the poisoned extension was live in the store. It only took one day, Christmas Day no less, for a crypto detective named ZachXBT to spot suspicious activity. But an official response from the company, that didn't come until the day after Christmas. So that official response, that's what we're looking at next. When a crisis of this size hits, how a company reacts can literally make or break its reputation. Let's see how Binance handled the damage control.
This was the message, straight from the top. The founder of Binance, Changpeng Zhao, who everyone knows as CZ, he got on social media right away with a really clear message. User funds are SAFU. Now, SAFU is their acronym for the company's Secure Asset Fund for Users, and this was all about reassuring everyone that they were going to be made whole. He also, importantly, acknowledged the big mystery. How in the world did the hackers get that update published?
And you know what? They backed it up. They didn't just talk the talk. Binance promised to use that SAFU fund, which is this massive emergency insurance pool, to reimburse every single person who lost money in this hack. This was an absolutely critical move to maintain trust, not just in Trust Wallet, but in the whole Binance ecosystem.
So, with the reimbursements handled, the next phase kicked off, the investigation. Where did the $7 million actually go? And who was behind such a sophisticated attack?
Following the money is always key, right? And this table shows us exactly where it went. The attackers didn't just let the funds sit there. They immediately started the laundering process. You can see over $4 million was funneled to exchanges like ChangeNow and KuCoin, trying to make it untraceable. At the time, though, almost $3 million was still just sitting in the hackers' wallets.
Which brings us to the biggest question of all. Who did this? Was it some lone wolf hacker, a disgruntled employee, or something much, much bigger?
Well, two major theories popped up pretty quickly. Binance's founder, CZ, he hinted it was most likely an inside job. But another security firm, Slowmist, suggested it could be the work of a highly sophisticated nation-state actor. Either way, the root of the problem was that leaked API key we talked about. That key gave the attacker a golden ticket to publish their update, completely bypassing all of Trust Wallet's normal security checks.
Okay, so we've gone through the heist, the response, the investigation. But what does all of this mean for you? This last part is all about the crucial lessons we can learn and the steps you can take to protect your own digital cash.
One of the biggest lessons here is really understanding the difference between hot and cold wallets. The Trust Wallet extension that got hacked, that's a hot wallet. That means its keys are stored on a device that's always connected to the internet. Super convenient, but as we saw, also super vulnerable. A cold or hardware wallet stores your keys completely offline on a little physical device. That makes it pretty much immune to these kinds of online attacks. It is, without a doubt, the safest way to store any serious amount of crypto.
So, let's wrap this up with your security checklist. For any significant holdings, use a hardware wallet, period. Turn on two-factor authentication on everything you possibly can. Keep your software updated, which sounds ironic after this story, I know, but usually updates have critical security patches. Be incredibly careful about what browser extensions you install, and above all, please never, ever, ever share that mnemonic recovery phrase with anyone, for any reason, ever.
And that really brings us to our final thought. The Trust Wallet hack perfectly highlights this constant tug of war we have between convenience and security. A browser extension is easy, it's fast, but as we've just seen, it can carry some serious risks. So the question I want to leave you with is this. When it comes to your own digital wealth, how much risk are you really willing to accept for just a little bit of convenience?